The nice thing is that the software will track which one of your products are selling at 33% capacity, and then it's going to send that information over to fulfillment. And then after that, when you make $1,000 into your bank account, that's when you get paid. It's like, guys, that's a lot, right? Didn't that sound a lot? And didn't it sound like not sexy? It's a lot, and it sounds like overwhelming. And so what can happen sometimes if you're that person that's just kind of vomiting out the entire process, feeling like, hey, I'm the expert, and this is the only way I can create value. What you're going to do is you're going to overwhelm your prospect. And that's where the thoughts come in of, man, can I even take this on right now? This sounds like a lot of work. So when it comes down to the pitch, again, if you guys have been with me for a long time, this might be more of a reminder, which is awesome. And I want you to kind of still pay as much attention as you did the first time around, because likely when you're on calls, you're going to start to recognize, oh, shoot, you know what? That is what I'm doing, or that isn't what I'm doing, or that is what I used to do, and I'm not doing it anymore. Top closers, it's not that they have more techniques or more skills or more tools in their tool belts. It's the fact that they do the best. They're the best at the basics. Right? They keep it as simple as possible. So when it comes down to your pitch, and I don't care what offer you guys are closing for, by the way, it could be fitness, it could be like an e-commerce, make money online type of thing. It could be B2B. Your pitch is not your time to present. Okay. I know a lot of the times when we're learning new products, like our thought is, hey, we build value by inundating this person and really getting them to understand how this program works, what features and benefits we offer, how it's going to get them from point A to B through all the logistical side of things. But that's not the point of the art of sales, right? The art of sales and the best closers that close more than anybody else are the people who don't just only understand their program well enough, but they are the people who can understand their communication skills and get their prospect to imagine. Okay. Because you got to think about where the pitch is in terms of your call. You have your intro, you got your discovery, you have your pitch, and then ideally your close, right? So your discovery, that's where you're getting much more clarity on the pain, the vision, the urgency. They're telling you all the nitty gritty of like why it's so uncomfortable to be where they are now and why they want to move from point A to B, right? What you don't want to do during your pitch is suddenly act like you haven't talked to this person for the past 20 minutes, learning all their deep, dark secrets and all their big dreams and goals, right? If you have a pitch that's just repeating the same information over and over and over again, what's going to happen to your tonality is now you're going to sound rehearsed. Now you're going to explain why you solve everybody else's problems, right? I used to sell for an e-commerce offer, and it was like a done for you Shopify store type of thing. It was run by a pretty big influencer. And, the way that he wanted us to do this pitch, and this is the reason why tech people and salespeople typically don't see eye to eye, okay? But the way he wanted us to do the pitch was to go into ROAS, which is like return on ad spend. He wanted us to go into like product trending and like data scraping and like ad spend, solo ads, like all that stuff. Explain to them exactly how it was going to work. He essentially wanted us to teach them what the experience would be like. And I told him, I was like, hey, listen, I could do that. But the minute that I say, hey, Nancy, listen, the cool part about this program is that we're going to teach you all about your return on ad spend. So that if you put $10 in and you put $5 in after that, reoccurring Monday through Friday, the nice thing is that the software will track which one of your products are selling at 33% capacity, and then it's going to send that information over to fulfillment. And then after that, when you make $1,000 into your bank account, that's when you get paid. It's like, guys, that's a lot, right? Didn't that sound a lot? And didn't it sound like not sexy? You know what I mean? It's a lot, and it sounds like overwhelming. And so what can happen sometimes if you're that person that's just kind of vomiting out the entire process, feeling like, hey, I'm the expert, and this is the only way I can create value. What you're going to do is you're going to overwhelm your prospect. And that's where the thoughts come in of, man, can I even take this on right now? This sounds like a lot of work, right? Or man, like that's a lot to keep track of on top of everything I already have to do. Or you might also get the, hey, I don't know if I need all that help. Right? And then that's the thing though, guys, remember, and this is why I'm talking about pitch and objection handling today, you can trigger objections in your pitch by doing it that way. And what your prospect isn't going to do is say, hey, Nancy, I already have all these things set up, right? Or, hey, I already have a lot going on. I don't really want to necessarily take this onto my plate. They're not going to be forthcoming like that, during your pitch, because you're probably very excited to share all this information. Right? Most people are nice. They don't want to burst your bubble. So how it's going to manifest is at the end of the call, when you drop the price, and you say, hey, Mrs. Jones, it's only $10,000 to get you to a point where you can earn $10,000 in your online business passively. They're going to go, I need to think about it. Right? Or, you know what? Let me just kind of keep doing what I'm doing. Let me just see how far I can get on my own, and then I'll and then I'll do that, right? When I used to pitch like that, because I tried to pitch like that, right? I had one guy that goes, "Oh man, you just made me realize I know a lot less about this industry than I thought I did, so I probably should get some coaching." That was one guy out of 200 people, guys. That was 200 calls. I had to do 200 calls to prove to that influencer that that wasn't going to work for a pitch. Okay. So just remember, we got to imagine, okay? And the discovery, when you're getting a better idea on, hey, what their goals are, what their dreams are, what's keeping them up at night, that's what you lead back into the pitch. Okay. You're only bringing up whatever feature or benefit that your company has to offer if it is a direct solution to your prospects' problems. An example, like if I'm talking about the e-commerce side of things, right? Most of the time, people have issues just marketing, advertising. They don't know how to set it up. They don't know how to get the reach for the demographic for the products that they're looking to sell. Either that or they don't know how to look for a winning product. So all I have to know about that person is, hey, how much time have you spent trying to actually market on your own? How much money have you lost and not earned back because you didn't know how to target correctly? And once I have that answer, then that's what I can speak to in the pitch. I don't start talking about the discovery. There's a time and place for everything, right? In the pitch, now it's saying, hey, listen, Nancy, obviously you're very serious about this because you've put in over $20,000 into your ads over the past year trying to get your online business up and running. But the really cool thing about X, Y, and Z influencer is that he's done this for over 14 years and he can show you how to double your revenue with less ad spend each and every month. So you tell me if we can kind of time collapse that ratio from when you put in the ad to when you start making money, how would that make a difference this time around? And so do you see how that kind of really I'm kind of almost saying the same thing, but what I'm doing is I'm getting her to imagine. I'm kind of talking about her problem specifically, where her friction points were and how we're going to solve that. Right? It wasn't about the, hey, ROAS and all this other jargon that most people just kind of get overwhelmed with. You already have what I call positional authority. They're booking in a call with you or they're on a call with you for whatever reason. They're expecting you to lead the conversation. So you don't need to try to stack up or pad your authority by pretending to be the expert, right? It's actually even worse if you are the expert. Because if you're an expert or you actually have experience in the industry that you're closing for, most of the time you end up talking too much because you're trying to teach, you're trying to explain, you're trying to edify, your expertise and why they should be listening to you, but that's not what you need to do. People need to feel seen, people need to feel heard, but more importantly, they need to feel understood. Okay. So if you can kind of shore up the art of sales and your communication skill sets to make that person feel understood by saying less and asking better questions, especially during your pitch, you can fudge up your discovery and have an amazing pitch where your prospect feels understood and you're connecting the dots and close at a way higher level than people who are doing it by the book.